How did a single court ruling about border fences push 50,000 people into the sea? Published on 1st August 2026, this Atlantic essay shows how a Spanish court ruling accidentally turned the Mediterranean into a legal loophole. By deciding that migrants could only be quickly deported if they crossed a physical barrier, the law gave thousands of people a deadly reason to swim instead of walk. The story pauses on a difficult tension at the edge of Europe. It asks what happens when people rationally follow the exact letter of a border policy, and the result is a mass tragedy that threatens to upend a continent's politics. Written by Graham Wood in The Atlantic, narrated for Arva.
When following the rules leads to disaster. A Supreme Court decision helped cause the Ceuta disaster. On July 8th, Spain's Supreme Court issued a seemingly reasonable decision, unaware that by the end of the month, it would contribute to the deaths of at least 57 people, many by drowning. The court ruled that people who had migrated illegally could be sent back summarily only if they'd circumvented a physical barrier at the border. If no barrier exists, if they'd walked across open ground, say, or swum, then the government must go through a much more complicated process to deport them. And if you're trying to swim to Europe from Africa, there may be no better destination than Ceuta, a speck of Spanish territory in North Africa, surrounded by Morocco on its western edge and the Mediterranean elsewhere. Every year, some migrants try to swim to Ceuta, especially in the summer when the waters are relatively calm. Ceuta has a facility that can process about 500 people at a time, but Thursday, 100 times that number, an estimated 50,000 people, made an amphibious attempt to swarm Ceuta and emigrate illegally from Morocco. This was evidently a coordinated attempt, assisted by social media. One Facebook group, the now-defunct Haraga Ceuta, reportedly featured exact maps of the 3-hour maritime journey from the Moroccan town of Fenidek, which bypassed the land border with Ceuta and ensured that anyone who arrived alive would break no barriers and would land on sand or rocks rather than at a fence or turnstile. People showed up with fins, wetsuits, and floaties. They discussed going in together on kayaks and coordinating their departures. Their conditions on arrival were not all dire.
An El País reporter in Ceuta met an unaccompanied 16-year-old girl, still wet from the sea, her mascara runny, wearing earrings and a gold necklace, as if just back from clubbing. Europe will probably spend weeks trying to figure out exactly what led to Thursday's catastrophe. Danish and Italian leaders have called for suspending Spain from Schengen, the free movement zone that allows someone to travel from Cordoba to Copenhagen without passing through border control. But one contributing factor is that the Supreme Court effectively directed migrants to choose life-threatening routes. People saw their shot and took it. Spain has alleged that human traffickers were among these opportunists. Morocco has been blamed for encouraging the migrants to cause trouble for Spain. However, the Moroccan king happened to be giving his throne day speech nearby in Medik, and it would have been an odd choice to spring a disaster of this magnitude so close by. Another possible factor is socioeconomic, the long-term trends in Morocco that make life there miserable and send young people into the sea in search of opportunity. The youth unemployment rate in Morocco is roughly 1/3, and years of drought have led to a farming bust. This second factor needs scrutiny, however. The past 25 years have been, droughts aside, good for Morocco's economy. Indeed, its shift away from agriculture and mining and toward modern industry has powered consistent growth, led by such sectors as automotive manufacturing and phosphate processing. Youth unemployment is high, but it's not much better in Spain, where it is currently about 25%, down from a high of 55% in 2013. So the migration is from a poor country without jobs to a rich one without jobs.
I, too, would prefer a rich one, but the faster-growing economy of Morocco and the not exactly healthy labor sector of Spain complicate the picture. In none of the accounts I have read from journalists in Ceuta do the migrants claim to be refugees, that is, people who fear persecution if they return to their home country. Some Moroccans have protested government policies, and according to reports, at least some of the migrants are sub-Saharan. Some of them may have a legitimate asylum claim. But most of the Moroccans seem to be economic migrants, moving away from a country with economic problems but no economic catastrophe. In that sense, they are rational people seeking a better life, as anyone would. Because Spain has officially given swimmers a pass, it is also rational for them to have chosen that route if they thought they could make it. Far-right Spanish leaders are calling the incident an invasion, and even Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has described it as an attack. What I think perturbs Spaniards, and not just those on the right, is the combination of so many migrants' awareness of the rules, knowing exactly how they work, and acting upon that knowledge for personal advantage, and their brazen unwillingness to submit to those rules when they prove disadvantageous. The name of the Facebook group that coordinated migrants used the Arabic dialect word hraga. It means burners, and refers to the common practice of destroying one's identity documents upon arrival in the intended country, to thwart even lawful efforts to detain, track, and deport their bearer. This combination of being a stickler for the rules and trying to evade them will leave a bitter taste for many Europeans. The strongest case for mass immigration has always been that some people have no home to go back to and need help. But the events in Ceuta seem very far from this category. They will empower right-wing parties that see Ceuta and say, not a millimeter closer.